It's Nolan. What's going on, y'all? It's the kid J Nolan here. Hey man, you know the old saying, new levels equals new devils? Well, it seems like once you make it far enough in the media game, the YouTube game, you're gonna start making enemies. The people that you looked at as potential peers, colleagues, etc., they start becoming rivals, they start becoming enemies, frenemies, etc. And this is what we're seeing play out between Joe Budden, Adam22, and Tasha K. Now, they all occupy different positions within the YouTube and podcasting game. Joe Budden, he's more so of an educator of sorts. They speak on a lot of different things. They debate among friends, you know what I mean? Cultural topics. Adam22, he goes for a lot of controversial things. Joe Budden addresses controversial things as well, but Adam22 pretty much, he's like the white DJ academics, right? They be talking crazy about people, be trying to violate people's information, have really edgy guests, people that you may not really know like that, underworld type folks on the podcast. Then you have Tasha K, who just likes to tear into everybody, especially when it comes to women in hip hop, people of influence in the hip hop sphere. She's the one digging for dirt. She's trying to be like the new Wendy Williams of sorts. Now, we all know Tasha K has become overwhelmingly known because of her beef with Cardi B, her being sued by Cardi. She ended up having to pay up $2 million or something like that. She's still trying to pay that off. Unfortunately, she doesn't have the money, so there's a payment plan in order. She's been trying to find ways to get Cardi's legal team to accept some of the money that she's offering because clearly she doesn't have it all up front. Cardi wants it all at once. Tasha's been trying to say, I'm not going to be able to give it to you like that. Your legal team knows I'm trying to give them money, but if y'all keep denying what I have, you're never going to get it anyway. I never really foresaw the day that these three would come together and have like some sort of internal beef, a fatal three-way of some sort, you know what I mean? Now, it was made apparent that Joe Budden did interview Tasha K recently to try to get some of her side of the story. When he made his bongos thing, that ended up leaking out. Cardi B says she feels like Joe had an issue with her that was personal because she saw him standing next to Tasha K doing an interview, creating content. She felt like there's no way that you could be aligned, fuck with me, say you rock with me, show up to events and stuff and smile in my face, but then I see you out here having a great time with one of my sworn enemies. Everybody looks at these things differently, especially when it comes to the media. I think there's a lot of neutrality that has to be taken into consideration when you're a part of the media. You can't be biased upon anybody. If you interview one person, you can't say I'll never interview your enemy. I am a neutral party. I'm here to make content. I'm here to get answers. I'm going to be even keel on both ends. I'm going to ask both parties about one another, see where y'all stand, see if there's a way to mediate it, that y'all could come back together, whatever the case may be. Now we have a situation where Adam22 has also interviewed Tasha K, and Tasha K is angry that Joe Budden decided not to put out the interview that they did. Now, this came to a head when Joe Budden explained it on his podcast, stating, I didn't know that it was going to cause that much of an issue with Cardi. I thought she would have understood the neutrality that I have as a media personality. Unfortunately, that didn't go over well. They had a whole discussion about it on the podcast, speaking where the guys were basically like, you should have known this was going to happen. Joe said he didn't. He felt like people should have known where he stood. And the guys were like, well, you gotta make a choice. You either going to choose having a relationship with somebody that you care about, that you rock with, and that you had a relationship with prior to all of this. Is that relationship valuable? Is that relationship worth keeping? Or are you willing to throw it away for this Tasha K interview so that you can have content and make a few extra dollars? The Joe Budden podcast decided to scrap the interview, and that's just what it is. Now, we have Adam22 and Tasha K both ripping into Joe Budden for making that decision. Now we have Adam22 and Tasha K aligned, both going at Joe Budden. Seems like this is going to be something ongoing. They might even create a podcast or something together in the future. Who knows what the fuck they're going to do, but I wouldn't be surprised. Tasha K's out here looking for allies. Adam22's out here looking for allies. His whole team left him as well. So let's get into what Tasha K had to say, and then we're going to show you what Adam22 had to say.
When Latino women are out here saying that he's breaking ribs and he's out of their fucking stomachs. This is the type of girl that Joe Budden is, and I honestly regret sitting down with him and giving him that one interview that would shake social media so bad that it shook his face in that lace shirt with his belly sitting over his dick, that he did exactly what the BBL told him to do, because just like every other weak black man, they choose over bills. Now I want y'all to clip this. Yes, angry, black, bald head. That's what I want you to clip. And I honestly regret giving him the interview that I should have gave that cracker Adam22 when he had the intelligence to read my case, instead of me sitting down with a black man that is supposed to have my back when I'm supposed to have his back, when Latina women are out here saying that he's breaking ribs and kicking out of their fucking stomachs. Then you want the black woman to come sit in court and picket for your. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. And you wonder why black people don't get ahead, because we can't fucking stick together. We want to try to mask it and blame crackers. That's why you chose a black woman. Shout out to Melissa Ford. But let me say something. I said this to her. You chose Melissa Ford for that platform because she would never stand up to your. You are the type that hates women with a fucking voice. So when they cry and say, oh, somebody did this to me, you feel sorry for the pussy until the rabbit got the gun on your, calling you a drug addict, calling you a woman beater. But you innocent. But you ain't take the time to read my cat. You ain't never picked up the motherfucking court documents. You just believe that. Cause she got a BBL and a pussy. The bitch that'll turn around and say you kicked the baby out her stomach.
Okay, before we get into Adam22 and whatever the fuck he got to say, we're gonna have to address a few things here with Miss Tasha K. You do understand that all Latina women are not the same. Just like all black people are not the same, Latina people are not a monolith. So you're comparing Cardi B, this is who you're identifying as the BBL, and you're conflating her with, I would guess you're talking about Esther Baxter, who had those allegations against him, which is a totally different type of woman. She's a dark-skinned Spanish woman, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I got the game fucked up. Was it not Esther Baxter? Joe never had a child with Cardi B. He never allegedly had any issues with her domestically. They were never that fly. So you're basically lumping these people together, all right? So you're making this a racial issue when he just decided to choose relationship with Cardi B, a much bigger star, much bigger upside, much bigger future relationship, future content over you. So you're mad at that, which you could be mad, but I don't think it's a racial issue. And a lot of times what I've been noticing with people in the media these days is when things don't go their way, when everything is set up, you got a grand slam scheduled to get knocked out the park, and a motherfucking like Ken Griffey Jr. catch that bitch before it go over the goddamn rafters. You want to say it's a racial problem. You would rather not give Ken Griffey his motherfucking props for getting that golden glove up that bitch. You want to say it's racial. Now you want to claim that you a black woman. You need a black man to support you. All this good shit. No, you don't need none of that. Number two, you say Joe Budden never read your court documents. Tell me when he ever has. He's fired off about the Megan Thee Stallion, Tory Lanez stuff without reading the documents. He's talked about numerous cases on this podcast. None of these guys, and pretty much none of the commentators on YouTube, there's a very small sector of people, more than likely legal professionals, that are creating content that actually gonna sit down and read through your court documents. Because at the end of the day, how many people can actually comprehend court documents and all the legalese that's in there, right? Petitioner and all of this other shit. So no, he wasn't gonna read that. Nobody else that's commenting on your shit online is reading it. You firing off the handle at everybody. So you should be the last person to talk about reading. You had none of these complaints. You had none of these issues. You had none of these insults to spew at Joe Budden. When you did the interview, it was all good. It was all fun and games. Y'all were having a grand old time. Behind the scenes footage has been leaked about how fun it was back there. But now you want to start spewing and throwing rocks, mudslinging. Ain't nobody gonna ride with you on this one, man. Even the Joe Budden haters out there, they might ride with you because they hate him. But you ain't got nobody else. And please believe Adam22 is riding with you momentarily because it's an easy layup. He has an issue with Joe Budden. He's going to make friends with his enemies. He'll use you as long as he can get views. He'll use you as long as you can create content for him. But y'all ain't going to have no long-standing allyship either. But shall we continue? Let's see what Adam had to say.
Man, I got the podcast game on my back right now. Joe Budden had Tasha K come all the way out to Jersey and do a multiple-hour interview. She was happy about it when I seen her, and he's not dropping it. He's scared to death of Cardi B. He's scared to death of Offset. He don't want to have another run-in the mall with the QC goons like he did. Remember, Everyday Struggle was actually really entertaining before QC told him that he wasn't allowed to talk about their artists anymore. And that's when you saw him really simmer down, brought the temperature down a whole lot. But, I mean, if you're Tasha K and you went all the way to Jersey to do an interview that when I talked to her, she was real happy about the interview, and he's not dropping it because he's scared of Cardi B. Like, what kind of shit is that? That's not why I got in the podcast game. I didn't get in the podcast game to be running around acting like a hoe. Hoe Budden, you acting like a hoe, and nobody respects it. Your fans are losing interest because you're not keeping it real. I think now, more than ever, it's important that we support real, independent media. Because as you can see, even a podcast like the Joe Budden podcast, which for a time was a symbol of independent hip-hop media, it has been co-opted by the deep state, Cardi B and Offset, the deep state. And, there's no coming back from that. For me, it's kind of disappointing, Not only is this guy like setting his hosts up against each other and trying to create all this internal drama, basically copying No Jumper, but now he's scared to drop like real legitimate interviews with powerful black creators. Man, that's a sad situation. I don't even know what to say about it. The great have fallen and 22 is on the rise. So if you want some real content, you know where to go. YouTube.com/NoJumper. Go check out that Tasha K interview. Joe Budden was too bitch made to drop his. Boom!
I'm going to keep it 100 with y'all. I really don't have a response for Adam22, man. He's trolling. He's clearly trolling. Why would I even justify this with the notion to dissect what he's saying? But I want to take this back to Tasha K because she tried to shit on Melissa Ford. To say that Melissa Ford would never challenge Joe Budden, have you never watched the show? Have you not been tuned in at all in the last 2 months? Melissa Ford has actually been going at it with everybody on the show, and she continues to show up because her voice is being heard. Now, are they listening to everything she says? Do they compute everything that she says from a woman's standpoint? No. But she has been combating the guys. She's gone at it with Joe. She's gone at it with Ice and Ish. She's gone at it with Queen's Flip. She says that they be, mansplaining everything to her. She says that they don't listen when she tries to give them the woman's perspective, even though that's what they brought her to the show for. They've had this issue numerous times. There's also been a narrative of her and Ish having a flirtatious vibe, and they've been placing the onus and the blame on Melissa Ford, which she's also voiced her opinion against. Y'all are the ones pushing this narrative. When I feed into it, y'all want to chastise me, but y'all created it. So again, all of the points are moot. All of the points are ground beef, okay? Shredded. I don't really got respect for nothing these motherfuckers is talking about, and I'm not here to be a Joe Budden apologist. I'm not on his side. I'm just dissecting this situation as I see it, looking at it from a content standpoint, as a media professional standpoint. And of course, like I said, when you're choosing your allies, choosing your relationship, sometimes it does have to be strategic. Sometimes you have to say, all right, what is going to be the long-term play here? Is it Tasha K? Standing with Tasha K is not a long-term play for anybody. Even the people that she's inviting onto her platform, there's so many people that have been aligned with her that have been discarded. Ken Barbie was on Twitter earlier documenting all of the people that she's took under the wing that are no longer there, no longer fuck with her. So coming to her defense is not something that's beneficial. It's not something that's going to get you long-term anything because she's not a long-term person. She discards people as well. Like she said, It's no fun when the rabbits got the gun, and right now it looks like there's a few pointed at her. Let me know what y'all think down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit the post notification bell for all updates. I'll see y'all on the next one, all right? Much love and respect, y'all. Peace!